What is up, my guys? Today I'm here not with Galaxy S stuff, but with a different character. That anime dude's going to be Yusei Fudo with his Stardust stuff. No, this is not a character deck. I don't do that type of stuff. But we got new Stardust stuff, and the reason why I'm really looking at it is because Resonators is one of my favorite decks to play. So I was like, hey, let's see how this stuff fares. And on its own, this sport's really bad. So I was like, hey, Junk Speeder is a card. Junk Speeder is really, really nutty. And now we have this monster mash of a mistake. But it's pretty cool. It has some pretty interesting end boards. Its end boards are definitely a little bit better than anything Resonators can do because they're locked into Dark Dragons, which sucks. But these lock you into Synchro Monsters, which is really nice. But with the deck profile, we have Quick Draw Synchron. You want someone on Speeder. These two, the Serpents, you search them in combo, so they're there. If you hard open them, you can search other things. Stardust Synchron, he's one of the new monsters. If this card's in your hand or graveyard, you can tribute one monster as cost, spell someone's card, but banish him when leaves the field. Also, you can not spell summon monster rest from your extra deck for rest turn except Synchro monsters. That's fine, because all the players synchros. If he's normal to spell summon, you can add a spell trap that lists Stardust Dragon in his card deck. At first, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, because you can add Cosmic Flare. That I reread Cosmic Flare and it says target a Stardust Synchro monster. So no, you cannot. It's not list Stardust Dragon at all in its card text. It's really upsetting because I was thinking like, hey, this is a searchable out for the deck to add something like Dragon, which is cool. But it's not that cool. Then we have Stardust Trail, and if a monster you control is tributed, you can special the card from your graveyard if it was there or if it was in your hand. It's just Dark Diablos. And if you use it for the Synchro Summon of a Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust monster, so it has to be Warrior by name, or Warrior type, you can special summon a Stardust token, a level 1 Light Dragon token. So, that's pretty interesting and cool. Junk Synchron. When he's normal summon, you target level 2 or lower monster in the graveyard and summon in defense position. He's one of your main ways of making your your speeder along with Junk Converter. Satellite Synchron, you summon a Mafu Synchron as a level 2. That's the main focus. Junk Converter is like the combo card. Well, because you discard it and a tuner to from your hand, and it's card. So you discard this and a tuner monster, and you add a Synchron monster from your deck to your hand. So you add Junk Synchron. When Synchron's normal summon, you bring back this and you make Speeder. And when this card is used as a synchro material, you can target a tuner in your graveyard and special summon it. So it helps Speeder play around things like Ash. Then we have Ready and Lefty Driver. When Ready is summoned, you summon Lefty from hand deck or graveyard. And then since you're summoning it, that's 2 monsters on board. You mainly use it with the field spell, but 2 bodies on board. Rotar, because I want to talk about these 2 together. So first I'm going to go with Wish Converting Dragon. You can only special summon it once per turn. It cannot be used for the Synchro Summon, except for the Synchro Summon of Majestic Monster. This card becomes Majestic Dragon while field or graveyard, and when you draw this card, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro, you can special summon a level 1 Dragon from your deck. So what level 1 Dragon do we summon from our deck? Rotar, or Fairy Dragon, I'm not pronouncing that. But if he's summoned, you target a card you control, and you discard a card and add a monster from your deck with the same type and attribute. So if you target Rotar, you can add Black Serpent. If you target White Dragon, you can add White Buster, or you can add Stardust Trial. As an Undone Synchron, we play him as a level 1 summon from the deck for a combo. Terraforming to search your field spell. Tuning because it searches a tuner monster for you to discard off of this dude. Stardust Illuminate. This is one of the better cards in the deck in my opinion for like new stuff. You send a Stardust monster from your deck to the graveyard, or if you control Stardust Dragon, or a synchro that lists Stardust Dragon's text, you can special summon a monster, but really it's just Foolish Burial for trial. And they can banish him from the graveyard and target the Stardust monster, and increase or reduce its level by 1. Arriving Miracle. When this card is activated, you place a level 1 dragon on top of your deck, so this guy. And then you can, at the end phase, you do not return Majestic Dragon. So, like, he will not bounce out the end phase. He still has to activate them. And then if you Synchro Summon, you apply 1 of the effects. You draw 1 card, so you draw the card you stacked to trigger his effect, or you can special summon a tuner from your hand. So if you, like, draw it, you can summon it from your hand. Pretty cool. If you do draw this, you're going to, because you can play both effects in the same turn. So you can, like, if you open this, you just don't use the stacking effect, and then you'll just fetch some of this card from your hand and combo, and then later in the turn when you synchro summon again, you'll draw a card for free at some point. And then we're playing 3 of it because for most of the combos, you really want Illuminate. So now that I'm playing 6 things to open, being 3 Illuminate and 3 Miracle, this guy, if I open this, Synchron can search Illuminate instead, which is really nice. Refill for Illuminate, you search this. If we ever get more ways to search Illuminate, or just better cards to combo with that isn't Illuminate, then I'll be cutting Miracle with 1, but until then, 3 of each. 3 DDR because Powerful wants 3 equip spells. 3 guy. Starlight Junction. You contribute a tuner monster, special a synchron monster from your deck with a different level than contribute a monster. The main thing is righty summon left, tribute righty with field spells, summon junk, and there you go. You have a level 5 synchro. And then if you synchro summon on your opponent's turn, you can spin a card on the field. So it's another form of disruption. And then I'm playing one of this. You play. It's cool. Not a whole lot to talk about it with it, but the main purpose of it is it's a face-up synchro. If a face-up Stardust Dragon or a card that lists Stardust Dragons and its text distributed, activate its effect by card effect. So like he banishes himself, or if he tributes himself, or you tribute them to activate Synchron's effect, you can activate one of the effects. Touch someone with monsters, banish card in your opponent's field or graveyard, or any damage take is half. The main purpose is with this dude, you'll banish this dude for his negate as your banish card your opponent controls, which is cool, or in the graveyard. Now on to the extra deck. Ultimaya Tzolk'in. He is combo stuff. He summons Power Tool main. You set a card, summon Power Tool or a level 7 or 8 synchro. Not hard to make either. Sorry about that. Shooting Majestic Star Dragon is a new one. He takes Majestic Dragon and 1+ non-tuner monsters, including a Dragon Synchro monster. Most of the time he'll be using like Stardust Dragon or something to make them. But the main thing for him is must be special summon, and then once per turn you can negate the effects of one effect monster your opponent controls for each Stardust Dragon and each synchro that specifically lists Stardust Dragon and its text in your graveyard. So the main thing is like if you use this to make this, that's 1 negate. He also gets an additional attack for each time he does that. So that's 1 negate and 1 additional attack. But like if you have like Majestic Star and Stardust Dragon, so that's 2. So you get 2 cards. You can attack 2 more times. And then once per turn, your opponent's the main point of the card is once per turn, your opponent activates a card or effect. Quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase. If you do, negate the activation and banish that card. That's not much to talk about. He's just 4K beat stick negate. Now we have Majestic Star Dragon, a card that used to be really bad, and why did you have a negate at all back then? But now, during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can tribute this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy all cards your opponent controls. The main thing about this is now, since this doesn't allow him to bounce at the end phase, you now have that to your disposal. A negate that destroys all cards. Very, very handy. Then we have then he also could like take an opponent's monster effect and use it as his effect, but that's not too much. And then you can also at the end phase you target Stardust Dragon, return him to the extra deck, and then summon back Stardust Dragon. But due to this, you don't do that. And then we have Virtual World. I don't know. Sorry about that. I've done this a few times now. Each time there's been a problem. So now we have Virtual World. Big dude. It's Macrocosmos. Any card sent from field is sent to banished. Field to grave is banished. So make it on opponent's turn to trigger junction. The 10E synchro. So I was looking at level 8 synchros to make. That just took to like 2 level 4s or something. And this is just one of the better ones. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, he can banish that monster. And he stores an effect monster by battle, he gains the attack and he can attack again. The main point is he could banish that monster. Which is really nice because you could banish things like Nibiru before if your opponent like really just for some reason holds on to Nibiru, you could banish Nibiru, or you could banish like Golden Lord, the Drytrons. but it's a reactive card. And then Omega, because you need it for combo, but it also takes away opponent's resources. Stardust Dragon, because half these cards want him. Stardust Spark Dragon, because one of the end boards you can end on him with a Herald, and he just can protect Herald. Zeta, because he's one of the better level 7 synchros to just end on, besides Dragster, but we are playing Dragster, so I want another option being Zeta. For people who don't know, he's generic, and that once per turn during player's turn, target special summon monster your opponent controls in attack position, banish both this card and that card. He returns the next time by phase cycle Omega. So use Omega, but for special summon attack position monsters. So we have Power Tool Dragon. You reveal 3 equipped and you add 1. So you reveal 3 DDR and you add 1. Shooting Riser Dragon. The main point of this card is he's a level 7 synchro to make, and that's very easy for this deck to do. Then you send a monster from your deck to the graveyard on summon, so you'll be normally sending a level 2. And then it allows you to synchro summon on your opponent's turn. So you use this and a 4 to make the Virtual World synchro. FA Dragster. Level 7 needs to negate, Spell Trap negate. Chunk Speeder is the main combo card of the deck. It takes a Synchron Tuner and a non-tuner. If you synchro summon, you special summon as many Synchron Tuners as possible at different levels from your deck. You can also special summon turn except synchro monsters. Why I'm not playing things like Needle Fiber or anything, because this guy is Needle Fiber for 5, pretty much. Herald of the Arclight, Macrocosmos, and a negate. That was also a level 4 synchro to climb with. And then this is because I needed a level 3 synchro in general, but one that was not a tuner. So I couldn't play the Machina mech thingy, the level 3 that brings back a tuner, just because that's also a tuner and it brings back a tuner. That doesn't help me. I need a non-tuner. So this is the best option, because when you set the graveyard, you draw a card. So that's for the deck profile. I'm also going to show off a few combos and talk to them for a bit. About them for a bit. This first I'll be showing like combos with Illuminate, and then what happens if you don't draw Illuminate type of hands. So this combo is, in each hand, tuning will always just be something to discard. So you need Driver, Junction, Illuminate for this combo. The first part of this combo will always look the same. Righty, summon Lefty, Junction, Tribute Tuner, summon Synchron, and then you make a 5, and this will summon 5 from deck. It's nice because this is level 3 as well, and we're already playing it type of thing. So now we have all 5 of these guys on board. This will add a spell, so we'll have Driving Miracle, set it, trigger Zolkin, summon this dude. For people who don't know, Zolkin takes 2 monsters with the same level that are level 5 or higher. And one has to be a tuner. So since these 2 are the same level, Quick Draw being a tuner, this not being a tuner, we can make Zolkin. And this dude searched a spell card to activate, searched a spell card. So I can now set that spell card I just searched to trigger his effect to summon Power Tool Dragon. And Power Tool will add DDR. We'll activate a Driving Miracle after to stack the top card of the deck. So now, all I need to do is Synchro Summon to trigger its effect to draw that card. So we'll make Omega. So what I'm doing here is, Arriving Dragon is going to, this is going to draw Arriving Dragon, or Wish Dragon. So then I'm going to use the effect of it to summon it, but if I want to summon a level 1 dragon from deck, I can't because my zones are clogged. So that's why I'm playing Omega, because now he's a level 8 synchro, so I trigger the effect to draw, but now I can also have him leave this zone, but also take in a resource with it. So now I have 2 zones. So I draw the dragon, and I summon the dragon. But wait, what about the synchro, or like you need the level 8 synchro? He's level 12. So summon Rotar from deck. Who is his effect, targeting the Wish Dragon. I don't know why I keep calling this the Wish Dragon. Oh, that's because it is Wish Dragon. So the next part is I want to get this guy into the graveyard. So I'll be using Rotar and Satellite Synchron to make this Cybers card. And then we'll be using Stardust Synchron and Stardust Synchron and the Cybers card to make this dude. So now we got Stardust Synchron in the graveyard in general. And that'll trigger its effect to draw a card. And I'll use Illuminate just to send Stardust Trial, because that's the card I want to be in graveyard. Stardust Synchron, tribute Zolkin. Oh, pause for a second. Triggers tribute Zolkin. And then this tribute Zolkin summon itself. This, since the card is tributed, this will summon itself. And that will make Stardust Dragon. And then that'll make a token. And then Illuminate will increase that token's level by 1. And then we make the big boy. But due to us still having a tuner on board, and this dude at hand, we can continue on a bit. First we'll DDR for Omega back, and then we'll banish. So here, I'll banish a dark, I just banish Sulkin, and then I use 3 and a 4 to make Riser. Wyvern will add black, this will sound a level 2. Since we're already playing level 2s, it's not like I had to throw any random ones in there, so I'll just send one of these to the graveyard. Now he becomes level 5. I'll banish White Wyvern, summon Black Wyvern. For now, on the opponent's turn, let's see, we'll just make him do that, and then we'll Synchro Summon for Virtual Will Dude. And Junction will trigger to spin a card, and we'll draw a card because we Synchro Summoned. So that's the first one. Now your opponent, so in theory, your opponent is going to be playing with 4 cards, and you have 1 negate, 2 negate, spin, and then anything else will be banished after that. That's the first combo. The second combo is going to be Illuminate, Junk Converter, and your Tuner Monster. First we're just going to Illuminate, just get this over with. Send Trial, discard it and the Tuner, Normal Summon, effect, bring back Converter, make Speeder. So what's happening here now is Chain Link 1 Speeder, and since Converter was used as Synchro Summon, for a Synchro Summon, I can bring back a card, allowing Converter to be chain blocked so it can't get ashed. So we'll bring back Chunk Synchron, and then we'll bring out this. But if you notice now, we don't have the level 2 on board. So now, since we don't have the level 2 Synchron on board, we can actually make level 8 Synchros. Because since this has to do different levels, I can't just summon 2 3s normally. So that's why I have to summon 2. But this is honestly probably the more ideal one in my opinion. This will still add this. And it will make Zolkin, set a card, summon Power Tool, search DDR, activate it, stack the dragon, make Omega, draw, chain to banish, and then summon, and then Brotar. This will once again search the white dragon, and then this time, I once again want to get Stardust Synchron and Graveyard, but I'll use a 3 and a 1 to make Herald, and then I'll use Synchron in a 4, so Herald, and Stardust Synchron to make the 10 Synchro. We'll DDR back from the Omega right now, just get this over with. And then we'll start a Synchron, and then just bring itself back, make this dude. By now, this is like very similar to what's going on last time. And well, there you go. And you'll draw a card. This is the same as last time. Negate, banish, macro, and you drew a card. So these are going to be next few are going to be a few hands that are what happens if I don't draw Illuminate. So this combo is going to be Junction with Righty. It's going to look exactly the same at the beginning as the very first combo. This is things a little bit different. So since I don't have access to Trial, I'm going to want to get access to Trial. So instead I'm going to target Wish Dragon and add Trial to my hand. And then now we just need to get Synchron to the graveyard, and I'll draw a card. We'll do, in this variant, this is for like 2, but the end board is a little bit different than if you DDR for something else that I'll show in that combo. But here we'll discard Trial to bring back Omega, to get Trial in the graveyard, so Resource Blessing. Go banish another card. And then we'll just continue doing this for a bit. So in this variant, we do Spark with Herald. The only problem is this is on board and this wasn't doing anything. But we have this to protect the Herald. Herald's a negate. This is negate. Anything sent from the hand or deck to graveyard is now banished as well. This is going to be, once again, the same combo, but a completely different onboard. Well, not completely, but massively different. This all starting stuff is exactly the same as well. Same as before, we'll target the white dude and we'll add Trial. So this time I also made Stardust Dragon because I'm not going to DDR right away, so that's why I had to summon her from hand. Because I'm not DDRing for Omega. Instead, I will be making Majestic Star Dragon and bringing back this dude to make Zeta. So now I have Negate to destroy everything, Spell Trap Negate, and Zeta to banish Special Summon attack the monster. Sadly, and this at the end phase, he'll try to resolve, but he won't. That was the point. So that's that end board. I think it's a little different. And then for the last combo, it's going to be, once again, not opening Illuminate, but Converter plus any tuner. And it's going to look exactly the same at the very beginning as it did for the Junk Synchron combo. By the way, if you want to, you can make this look like the lefty-righty, like Converter plus Tuner can look like the lefty drive Ember with more level 7 Syncros versus the level 8 10 Synchro. You just don't use Converter to bring back Junk Synchron. You just let Converter summon the level 2 instead of Converter summoning back Junk Synchron. Same as before, Brotar will target the light dragon to add Trial. And just like last time as well, I need to get this dude in graveyard, so I'll use these two to make Herald, and I'll use these two to make a level 8 Synchro. Tribute to Zulkin, and then summon this dude. Make Stardust, here's the token. Make Majestic Star, DDR it back, and make Dragstar. So this is another variant. This can be Zeta with the Junk Converter, you just don't use Converter's effect. With that. So once again, try to resolve. And that's what I've been coming up with. This definitely not the best deck in the world, but I think it's very fun and interesting, especially if you, for some reason, still have your higher rarity Majestic Star Dragon. It's something to do. And for me, the next thing to look at is this guy for Red Dragon Archfiend. Because with all of this stuff, it's not like this thing is insanely hard to trigger anyway. That's kind of cool. But anyways, that is all with this deck profile. Goodbye.